Okay, jumped right into the live.
Oh, cool.
Good.
Hello there.
There we are. Okay, we're live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Zerilath here. I'm here with Jungle.
How you guys doing?
This is my boy Jungle. We're friends. He lives not far away, and we're all in network over with the Blue Flame Healing Arts and Occult Sciences. Shout out Black Earth Productions, Seth Guzboza. So yeah, man, we just had a wicked kind of productive hangout day, because my man over here, he's got some kung fu, and so we got into a little bit of that. We didn't have a lot of time to do any kind of training, but I learned some of his stretch practices or whatever, and then we went to the gym, had a good workout, and just had a really great discussion about all the things going on. And we've hung out a couple of times now, but every single time we never hit that moment of let's record something and put something up. So we got 45 minutes or something right now. So we're just throwing this out there.
Throwing it out.
My man Jungle, how you doing? Good. Thank you so much for coming up, hanging out, teaching me a thing or two. Glad to have some great conversations and just making all this shit real, right? You know, it's been very difficult for those of us of the like mind to be in that place. Let's see if I can turn this up without hurting the microphone. Up. Okay. All right. Yeah. Safe. I think
nothing
safe.
Exploded. That's good.
Nothing exploded. Good. All right.
No sparks.
Excellent. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so it was a good workout. You know, got some good, energy flow and, pumping of the muscles.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Why don't you tell me a little bit? We did. We were outside in the freezing cold too. We got a jog on. Before we got the jog on, you taught me a little bit of your stretch work that you do. And the stretch work, it's not yoga, but also it kind of had a very qigong, especially my kind of qigong that I'm practicing, which is adapted from the Thunder Wizard Mao Shan stuff, right? And so I noticed that, so I loved it because it was quite natural. For me to be doing that kind of movements in my own yoga practice, made all those postures pretty damn easy, right?
Yeah,
I just had to learn.
Went right into it.
Yeah.
You did a great job.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just went over a few of the 10 stretches that I typically do for my routines, and it's usually lower body first, then upper body, and then just getting the blood flowing and the meridians open, whatever that means to people, but getting the energy flowing, and that's the most important thing, awakening the somatic intelligence and through bioenergetic exercises. And that's typically the one-to-one type of teaching that I do, so just teaching people how to purge out those traumas, and we have all that stuck inside of us, as you guys know, so we got to get it out and transcend the shit.
Yeah, and so it's it adds some new stuff that I can think to do now, and to add that into all of my ritual practice, which is deeply appreciated, and there will be more like that to come. I know I've seen on your channel. You've shown demonstrations of stuff. I think there's stuff, that footage on your channel, that's Metaphysical Dynamics, right? Yeah. 2006, I think, is the most recent stuff out there. It was uploaded not long ago, but it was 2006.
You're talking about the older videos, yeah. I have a set of older videos from back 2006 and 2012, and there were just some brief footage of the world tournament in Singapore and Malaysia, and we won. It was good. Back in when I back when I was doing that, I would say like 6 to 7 days a week, and lifestyle changes happen, life happens, and then you get through all these changes. But now I'm, you know, back at it. I never actually took a break, but going through grad school, different personal scenarios, slows you down sometimes. So it's good to be back, and yeah, something that has been a part of me since I'd say age 8. So it's something that I find interesting that it's like hard to detach from in terms of identity, and I've definitely gone through a period where I lost that, so that was interesting. Trying to figure out that process of like, who are you without the thing that you've done since you were little,
Yeah.
so that type of thing. Yeah. So I thought it was
Yeah,
an interesting journey on the rise back up.
Yeah, that's always an interesting story with the where you strip everything away from somebody and
We all know it.
Yeah, we all know that story. Thor loses his hammer.
Mm-hmm.
He loses his hammer in the Marvel cartoon or movie as well as in the mythos. And my brain immediately went to, amongst the not so deep thoughts, is like in Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 ends with like Tony Stark losing all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And but then you see Iron Man, like how Iron Man is not about Tony Stark getting in that suit. It's about what Tony Stark can do, whether he's got his shit or not.
Right.
Right? And that's what makes him this kind of hero. Right? It's that, like, he doesn't need all this. He can work with what is available around him to make the arsenal he needs.
And that thing, whatever that charger.
Right. He's always
activator.
He's always got a free energy device in his heart.
Yeah. So without that, it's like a symbol or something. I don't know. A symbol for his, what do you call? What is the word? What is the word? I'm looking for is it's a symbol. It's a big symbol for the self. Finding that yourself. I would say.
Right. Well, like it kind of plays the obvious symbolism of the of the illuminated heart.
Mm-hmm.
Right, being right where it is, and I think if I recall, because the design, like the Iron Man suits, they're constantly changing and upgrading. Tony Stark builds like 3 suits every effing movie, it seems like, right? Yeah. So that core also went through a handful of designs as well, and I want to say that, didn't it have the heart chakra symbol on it? What's this called again? The Anhanatra? Do you remember the name for the heart chakra? That's what this tattoo is, right?
Actually, haven't seen that before.
You never saw this before?
I probably haven't seen it. Like,
he doesn't watch enough of my videos. Like, I do all these topless videos.
I've
right?
seen some of them. That improvement. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Like so huge. It's great.
Right. So like there's sacred geometry in the design of the plate that you see, and it's and so that's always like what I used to like about all those movies, was where they were throwing all that stuff in there. Movies were not doing sophisticated metaphysics. They didn't give a shit about metaphysics, they didn't understand how it was cheapening a lot of the stuff that these kids were into. They were screwing up the lore and the mythos, left and right. And the reason why that was such a bad thing is because there were really cool foundational lessons for children about like the real shit, and they were, they're trying to screw they're trying to screw all that up, right? It's like watching like the G.I. Joe movie, and then you start realizing that they're actually telling you the story about the ultra-terrestrial insectoid reptilian civilization that lives in the underworld.
Yes.
Right, and all this stuff, and you don't get that. You didn't get that in the G.I. Joe movies. They didn't go anywhere near that kind of weird.
Yep.
Right, G.I. Joe got weird for all of its American hoo-ha. It got really weird. Yeah. And all of that is just illusory to all of the occult shit that people have been dealing with. And right now we're kind of living in a place where it all feels kind of unreal, because you're just like, wait a minute, so like, all right, now that we've gone through all this fuckery, where are the bad guys? The bad guys are supposed to show up by now. Where are the bad guys? I was promised bad guys when those things happened. I had to deal with my neighbors, but I didn't see Cobra coming out of the woodworks.
Well,
they're
they're not always right around the corner, but it's all based on your resonance, your frequency, what you're, I guess, bringing into your reality field.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I felt that supreme crushing of my aura over like, it's amazing how something like social distancing actually had like spiritually a constricting effect, right? You're feeling the squeeze of Jormungandr trying to destroy you,
Yeah, seriously. There was a lot of pressure back then. Definitely, and we've definitely come a long way, I would say. And then there's obviously, for those that are doing the work and those that aren't, it's clear that they're going in a separate direction, and that's not our, it's not our destiny. It's not our interest necessarily, but like at the same time, with the humanitarian type of quality that people have, it would be good, But you're not here to save everyone, like we always talk about. So it's just
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely clear that there's two timelines going on.
It was certainly the merit of like, okay, I don't want to, like, maybe I don't want to save anyone, but that doesn't mean I can tolerate existing in this world, and I can't physically leave this world. This has to change to accommodate me, because if they insist that I change to accommodate them, as within, so without. So that you got to accommodate me too.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the one principle that I said, I got to stand on this, because I am in no position to move. And I do not want to be cut down as if a weed.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of snakes in the grass too. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely feeling different for those doing the work. I think that setting, regardless if it's the Gregorian calendar or not, like we were talking about the other night, it's a timeline shift. It's a transference of energy, and there's a ending of a cycle and then beginning of a new cycle, right? So we have to set forth those objectives and goals to accomplish them, and it's more acting than philosophizing. A lot of times we've done philosophizing. Doesn't mean that we can't do it, but time for action, more so engagement, I would say.
Right.
Doesn't have to be aggressive. Right. Doesn't have to always be passive or aggressive, whatever. It could be anything.
Yeah. I think, like a philosophy is kind of like a backdrop. It's almost, it's almost like,
definitely not.
It's almost more like it's almost more like an operating system.
It's important.
Right?
It's hugely important.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But it is what you're saying as well.
Exactly. Because it's just like, you got to have an epistemology, and then you got to have a philosophy. And then once you have an epistemology and a philosophy, then you can have a life. Yeah. Right? Because then you've got your bearings straight to go and do a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
that's kind of the way that I figured out things. Just figuring out that there was something called epistemology, and it was just like, oh, this is like meta philosophy. I'm all for it, right?
Sure. I mean, you were reading about being in time, and you've been posting about that. And how far into the book are you?
Again? Yeah. I'm about 2/3 through the book right now. I'm in the 40 some odd chapters in out of the 60 of the one part that because like part 2, like this is something crazy I learned about Heidegger's being in time is that part 2 has never been like published or translated or something, right? There's a part 2, but part 2 is like nowhere. It's just like somebody's got part 2 and nobody's translated it yet. So there's and it's been forever.
Wow.
It's just one of those things, right? So it's going to be very interesting getting to the end of this book and then wondering, what else was there that Heidegger was trying to say that hasn't been said, and why really hasn't it been put out? Was it not? Yeah. Was it truly not its time, or was this something that was suppressed by the enemy? Right? Because, being in time is very, very helpful to, if you're stuck in kind of like a box of the psyche, a psychic box.
Yeah.
Being in time will help you understand the box that you're in and where the escape route actually is. That's how this book is panning out to me, as what its value is for us looking back at, say, the normies, right?
And you were saying it's like similar to the Matrix, like basically, like he's describing the Matrix in that book, right?
Yeah, that's right. To me, I kind of see it as, he's describing, like, not the Matrix, like breaking it down to its number code, but I'm just saying that, like, here's reality, here's reality in all of its spatial relationship, form, and function, right? And what that means to you, right? And then then that creates this definition of how you exist in the world, and that is called Dasein.
Yeah, so there's some, I'm sure, core fundamental principles in that book that everybody should check out. Zerilath's breaking down of the book being in time, because he's going over it right now.
Yeah, you can get in on the swing of that, and because I do that live, so you can engage with me while I'm reading it. So for those who have never checked out any of my stuff, coming across this as their first thing.
Yes, sir. That's right. And you were asking, I don't know, before, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent, but you were talking about I didn't know if I answered your question about the martial arts, but basically, it's, if you're, how could I say, everybody knows if you're stagnant, if you're sitting like a, still pond or a swamp or something, it becomes a cesspool, so you have to engage in those. I mean, it would be beneficial. It would behoove one to be practicing the bioenergetic exercises. That could even mean dancing. I mean, that's something that I've told you that I'm interested in.
Yes.
I'm not like a professional dancer or anything, but it's something that is a way to move the energy through and out of your system.
Yeah, and dancing can be. It can be this funky thing because you if you try to do something wild, you might lose your balance if you've never tried it before. But if you do something subtle, it looks kind of lame, So it's
you got to commit to it either way.
Yeah.
And who cares if you look lame? Who cares? Like, why does that matter so much?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm just saying that to say that it comes in all shapes and sizes and forms. So, if you're going to engage in something, do something that you like and just commit to it. That's what I would say. Martial arts is great because it definitely promotes the right principles in terms of, it's like the school of life. It's not like academia where you're learning you know, yes, there's a curriculum, but you're not learning how to think in terms of formula. Well, you are in a sense, but you're able also to think about like outside of the box in that way, in terms of being told what to think. You're kind of awakening your own soul, you know. So that's really all I have to say about that tonight.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, and having more people that are out there and teaching people
Yeah.
to move like that, to um, to approach or resolve conflict in such a matter, which has philosophy behind it for sure.
Yeah.
And with the metaphysics involved, with having a spiritual level of this kind of martial art practice. Thus, there's an epistemology, because metaphysics and epistemology are kind of in the same boat, if you will, as essential background structure to situations and to life. Yeah, and so having more people like you out there, it becomes this another demonstration of something provable as an alternative to all the different available ways that we basically have our spiritual bypassing and other avoidances.
Oh yeah. We need more avenues, and then just presenting one that has been around for thousands of years, and so it's something that it's also to do with preserving that culture, right? So, like we're all doing for ourselves, like and sharing. It's really about sharing and building. That's what it means for me, to me. So, yeah, and yoga. Everyone out there that's doing yoga, keep doing that, because I'm learning from you.
Yes.
And I hope that we can share and build. That's what I would want to say to people.
Right, exactly. This meetup is based on this principle of like the social media relationship that you have, like either you're trying to build something with people who have the same vision of the world as you, or you're functioning within the status quo, right?
Or at least similar.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? It's just like, at the end of the day, it's just I want to spend my time with people that are interested in building this better world, putting the magic into
play.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening to that our discussion, and hope to catch you guys later. Maybe I don't know if I didn't want to shut it all down or anything, but
no.
Do you have any other?
No,
things to say?
No, I think this was good, man. Yeah. I think having this little chit chat as a short live stream was just a good way of just like having it off and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. You want to just you want to plug the channel and anything real quick?
Metaphysical Dynamics. If everyone could go check that out, that'd be great. And it's spelled with a Z and a K for metaphysical, and then dynamics is spelled with an X. So yeah, there's that. And then I just pretty much post like workouts or some content that is pertinent to this type of conversation that we're having today. So everybody go check that out.
I'll be sure to put the YouTube link in the description when we're done here.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
All right. So guys, take care. Thanks for tuning in. Nobody participated in chat, and I don't know if anybody popped in. It looks like we didn't even have any viewers for this. That's kind of funny, but
You can
whatever.
play. I mean, yeah, it'll come up.
Yeah, it's all right.
If
But
it doesn't,
people will watch it.
It doesn't matter if it does.
It'll get like 12 views or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
by the end of the week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
See you guys.
See you guys later.